All right. The election system, I guess, post your election, a lot of Democrats have been calling for paper ballots or a new system. So what are the plans for that? What's going on with the...
Well, I'm glad the Democrats are calling for a new system now, because we've actually been leading on that issue for about a little over a year and a half now. When I created the, we did a pilot project in the city of Conyers that nobody ever talked about. They act like it never happened. We did a lot of hard work during the legislative session last year, working with the legislators to come up with the bill, because the law has to be changed to change the voting system. The Secretary of State, whether it was me or Brad Raffensperger or anybody else, cannot unilaterally do that. And the legislature couldn't ever reach an agreement last year, so I created the SAFE Commission. They came out with recommendations for a system that has a ballot marking device and a paper verifiable audit trail, which I support. I feel like you need the ballot marking device for the disabled, for them to be able to participate like they should in our elections. It's very difficult for them to do that with paper. And if you look, most of the fraud that we deal with in elections happens with paper ballots. And you get the best of both worlds with the recommendation the SAFE Commission came out with. But that being said, the legislature has to weigh in on that. That's happening right now, but I'm very confident we'll get a bill done this year. We have held some money in the bond package to be able to pay for the new system once it gets done. And we took the lead on that issue, and now it's coming to fruition. It's time for us to do that.
How much money was put aside for that?
I think we're holding like $150 million just to make sure we have enough, but it'll go through a robust procurement process through the Department of Administrative Services, just like we did with our voter registration system. There'll be several different agencies involved in that, so it won't just be the Secretary of State picking the vendor. There'll be a good working group, a very transparent process like all big state procurements are, and that's how it will work.
So essentially that would be someone goes, votes electronically, and then it prints out like a copy?
Well, they mark their ballot on the ballot marking device. And
which is electronic, right?
Right, but it prints a paper ballot out that you actually hold in your hand, and you look at your selections, and if you're satisfied with those selections and that's how you want to cast your ballot, you would take that ballot over to a scanner. You would scan the ballot, it would count your vote electronically, and then the ballot would fall into a lockbox. And so that way you're counting electronically, so you still have the speed of a fast count on election night, which is what people are used to. But if you ever get in a really tight race and you need to have a hand recounted election, recount, then you could pull the paper out and do the hand count as well as the electronic.
You think this is the best option for Georgia?
I mean, that's personally what I think is the best way to go. There's a lot of other people, many of them that don't live in Georgia, that want us to go a different route. But I'm going to work with the legislature and see what they're thinking, and we'll go from there.